Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome back to Let's Play Cool Spots for Genesis/Mega Drive. We are on Back to the Wall, the other attic theme level following Stage 3, Off the Wall. And you're dealing with a lot of the same enemies as you did on Off the Wall. The spiders, the mouse traps, the rats in pajamas that throw cheese at you, the nails, the barbed wire. And of course, you still gotta look in those pipes you can get behind to see if you can find any extra spots. Definitely gotta do that. We will be nearing another new enemy that we haven't seen before coming right up. We're just gonna have to lower ourselves a little bit before we can actually meet them. But we will meet them eventually, after we look around for everything that we can find here. And after getting 2 more spots, you definitely want to check everywhere you can go. Make sure you kill off every spider before they can really become a pain. We meet these things, these little electrical charges that bounce back and forth. They may seem indestructible, but you can actually destroy them with your shots. I think it takes about 6 to kill them. And that mousetrap always catches me out. I can never jump over it. I keep thinking I can jump over it with like a non-somersault jump, and it still gets me anyway. And it doesn't take long for us to reach our first checkpoint there. Believe it or not, it's still possible to time over in the stage, but the progress I made, I came close to it, but thankfully never did. Which is a very good thing. I've noticed while playing through the game that there aren't any bosses as far as I can tell. I still have not come across a boss yet. And I'm beginning to wonder if the levels are supposed to be the bosses themselves. I mean, this was a game that was made to market a product, in this case 7-Up Cola, or the Uncola as it was in the 90s. And I wonder if it was just a case of them making 11 levels and recycling the level theme from the first 5 levels, give or take, in reverse for the last 5 levels. I wonder if it was just a case of that, making just 11 levels, just all that, and just going home and celebrating the finishing up of the game. And that barbed wire there, that single barbed wire, also always catches me out. I can never see it, simply because it's so thin, and I just have a harder time paying attention to it for some reason, I guess. But we're pretty much at the top of the level now, again. After going from the top to the middle and then back to the top. We're kind of near the upper right-hand corner at this point. And because that was the proper way through the level, I actually go to the left here to get a few more spots, and then I decide to go ahead and continue on with the level proper. So yeah, if you've played Off the Wall, the 3rd stage, you know what to expect at Back to the Wall. A lot of spider fighting, a lot of mice in pajamas, the barbed wire, the nails, the spikes, a maze-like path, climbing down aluminum poles and screws. So once you've played the first attic level, you know what to expect for the second. Aside from those lightning bolt enemies, of course, they're pretty easy to deal with anyway. And of course, just like last time, as I mentioned earlier, you do have to look through the pipes that are pretty much stuck in the foreground, they're part of the foreground, in order to find spots. And I can't believe I shot that enemy from the other side of the wall and a flask of 7-Up popped up. And I really wanted that too because of the energy. So here I am, really hurting for some energy. I'm like still a few hits away from death. But I'd rather be close to full health, the way this game is sometimes. So I try not to fire on any enemies from behind the other side of a wall ever again if I can help it. And it helps to really explore where you can go on a pole there, and thankfully I managed to find some energy right there. It really helps to explore where you can go both up and down on a pole, and I thought I'd be able to land the platform. I did not. But I still managed to get up there nonetheless. And that actually hit me. I did not expect to walk into it when I did. And I almost missed that left hole there. Then I realized, hey, that was probably a pole that I could climb up or down. And after going through this little dead end and picking up the spots, I realized, hey, you know what? Maybe I should go over there. After killing off a few enemies. I do a little more exploring here on the correct path to some extent, and get some more energy too, which is always good. Before I go back there. And 300,000 points, that means I reached a multiple of 75,000, which means I'm going to get another 1-up. And right there when I was firing at that mouse, I realized, hey, I can go down there. So I finally decided to make my way all the way back to the left and climb down through the lower left corner of the stage. And I found a few spots that I didn't find in the practice run, so that was actually very useful. And realizing I went to the left earlier to find stuff, I go to the right, being sure to check the pipes that I can hide behind along the way. I also go past the cage. I don't shoot the cage lock down just yet, because there are some extra spots that I can pick up, along with some bubbles that will take me to extra spots. There are some foreground pipes at and above the lower right-hand corner of the level. And if you know where to fall, you can pretty much get all the spots. I don't think I find all of them, but I do try to get them. And you also want to make your way up here, because behind this pipe, plenty of spots. I managed to make it all the way up there to 91%. And I realize that I'm running out of time, and I don't really do any pipe exploration, so I just shoot the lock off, and it's on to the next level. And you'd think I'd be able to get the 1-up at this point. I don't. Next up is Dock and Roll, the other pier level. And you're more likely to fall into a bottomless pit here than in the other pier level. I realized that there were bottomless pits in the other pier level, which took place before Logo Motion. I just never really went into any of them, because, well, I was able to look down and be like, hey, there's a pit down there. It's not scrolling down anymore because that's a pit, so it was pretty much elementary that there was no pits. And that spot I picked up is probably one of the hardest to grab, just because of what happened there, just me falling right into the pit. There are some 7-up icons that you can pick up. There's one at the very beginning of the level. All you have to do is just go straight to the left and jump onto the nail platforms, and you'll be able to get it. And there's another one that I realized that I missed, and it's all the way to the right over here. Thankfully, all I had to do was just land on the nail, and I could get back to pretty much whatever it was I was doing. You really gotta be careful when you're near the bottom, because you never know when you might jump into a pit here. It's definitely easier to do it than in peer pressure. And sometimes you'll have to make somersault jumps to reach some of the spots here. I also want to watch out for the crabs too, because sometimes they can despawn when you don't expect them to, and when you head back to where they are, they'll just suddenly pop up again. And of course, the part where you can go through the little huge vertical walls there with the holes in them. I remember to jump up while inside them, and because of that, I was able to get some spots that I couldn't have found otherwise, which is always good. And now I go up here, try to shoot down that clam. Another checkpoint. Awesome. Brilliant. You're going to be dealing with a lot of the same enemies, basically the exact same enemies you saw in Peer Pressure. The bees, the crabs, the fish, the clams. Same strategy still apply, and this 7-up icon. I don't know why I moved to the left. I should have known that there was a platform right below it. So I just lost a life for pretty much terrible reasons. That's where I found out that, yeah, I didn't have to move to the left. Because I wanted to land on that one platform below this rope that I'm on, and I did it before in the practice run, barely, but, well, not here apparently. And now we're doing a lot more climbing again. We're going back towards the top of the level here. Oh, and the inchworms. I forgot to mention the inchworms because unlike Peer Pressure, you don't see the inchworms a lot. I'm actually surprised, to be honest. And of course I look down to see if there's anything, and sure enough there is. Don't know what hit me there, probably the fish spitting at me. A few more bees that I have to deal with, and thankfully I managed to make it to 60% at this point, even though I'm nowhere near finished with the level. And before I go over there, I do look for some more spots on the right, and thankfully I managed to do just that. Not a lot of inchworms in this level that you have to deal with. I find that really amazing sometimes, because, as I said before, Peer Pressure, the second stage in the game, is full of them. And then there's this jump. I actually had to make a running jump. This was like probably the first real time that I realized, hey, I'm gonna have to make the running jump. I'm just glad I remembered it while recording this video. It's one of those things where you recognize it when you see it. And there's nothing down there because we've been there before. We've already been there. We're starting to make our way up. And I realized, hey, there was a spot there. Let's go ahead and get it. And then I find that other one too. And I shoot down some more crabs and bees, because we know how nasty those crabs can be. They can definitely charge at you. And then I realize, can I climb up those ropes? I eventually do, after some time. And I eventually find out how to do it. But of course I continue to go on through the level here and make that short jump over that jack in order to get that one dot. Otherwise you're gonna get hit. And then it's time to make our way up here. After finding another spot, of course. And when I'm grabbing these, I thought I'd be able to grab that rope there, but nope, I didn't. And so I had to look around and figure out where I was, and then I realized, hey, the running jump I had to make is that way. So we had to make it again. And that brings me back up here, so I realized, can I make that jump up there? And turns out the answer is yes. I had not been here in the practice run. I somehow managed to get some random energy, shoot down a bunch of enemies, get some extra time, and some more spots that I didn't pick up in the practice run. At this point, I'm pretty much at the end, because once I grab this last one, 100% cool. Also, that crab despawned. Let's kill him. So for once, I finally get 100% coolness in a stage. And this is the part where you have to kill a bunch of bees. Thankfully, I was jumping around a little bit. And thankfully, there's nothing else past the cage, as far as I'm aware. So all I had to do was just shoot the lockdown, and that took care of Dock and Roll. And of course, I'm definitely going to get the 1-up now. Next up is Surf Patrol, the final level in the game. But that will have to wait until the next video, so join me next time where I finally end Cool Spot. Until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching!